Hey everyone, this is my brother Michael.
My brother Adam.
We're the Sharp Brothers.
You're listening to Mentoring for the Modern Musician.
Hey everyone.
Hey everyone.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Mentoring for the Modern Musician.
Very excited you guys are here with us.
Always excited.
I mean, I guess I do kind of wish you could be in the room with us.
Wouldn't that be great?
Although there'd be a lot of you.
It is. There would be a lot of
It'd be kind of crowded.
But it is always fun doing the live podcast like
Yes.
at Berkeley. And
Yeah,
like,
no, exactly.
for that, because you could see the
Yes.
eyes. So we're just going to pretend that we can see you guys
Yeah,
and gals.
yeah.
Gals. That's not the same thing.
No,
Folks.
folks,
People.
humans,
Human
humans
type people.
of varying
Whatever.
degrees of whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Just people, man.
Exactly.
Just people.
Just people.
People worldwide. So today, very exciting topic.
Yeah. Again, to just to clarify, if we're not excited by it, we don't generally talk about it. So
Exactly.
I'm just reminding you.
That's true.
That's-
But there are occasionally ones where it's so exciting to me. My inner dweeb comes out.
Right, I know.
And I'm like, this is cool. Really excited about this.
Most of the time I find that you get really excited about the ones that they're about music in the industry, yes. But it's really more about the underlying foundational...
Yes. Things that people don't like to talk about.
Exactly.
And that lots of people disagree about. I think they disagree about them because they haven't talked about them at a deep enough level.
Right. Yeah. Yes, that's a
Right?
great way to put it. That it's usually the subjects that people don't... It's like, we're not going to talk about that, are we? Right?
Or I love what we talked about with people in the industry, and they're like, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that's certainly an uncomfortable truth, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Anytime we can hit on the uncomfortable truth, Adam is pretty joyful.
I like the uncomfortable truths. That's what I like. So what this one is about is what's working.
Yeah.
Like not what's working. Working is this.
Right.
But rather, what is working in your career? What is working for you? What is going well
for
you?
What is bringing you a positive result?
Exactly. And one of the things, the ways that we can see that is, and Michael and I were talking about this, we had many different terms. We had to
Trying to figure out a way to...
effort or pushing or working or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
But I don't know that the actual name of what we call it matters as much as what we mean by it.
Yeah.
Is
So
that
it's
fair?
going to be, yeah, it is fair. It's going to be some clarification, and it'll mean something different to everybody, probably.
Yes.
Right? Some people will call the work the grind.
Yes.
Some people will call it efforting. Some
Yes.
people will call it working. Some people, right, will, any of those terms
the
fit.
legwork,
right. Yes, the legwork. Another great one. Any of those terms fit.
Yes. Use the one that makes you feel comfortable.
And how we got into this is we started talking about this difference between, man, it feels different when you are efforting and you are seeing results.
Yes, exactly right.
Right?
Right. So how much payoff do you get
Yeah.
with a certain amount of
Versus
with
how
a
much...
cup full of effort? Right?
That's a great way.
Like,
is it equal?
is it-
Do you get a cup? Do you get a cup or a cup and a half worth of results for the cup?
And you'll
of
notice
effort?
sometimes you'll put a cup's worth of effort in
And
for a quarter of a teaspoon's worth of result.
if that, maybe a few grains of results.
Right. And sometimes you'll put a cup of effort in and get a half a cup worth.
Right.
Sometimes you put a cup of effort worth, you get a cup worth back. Sometimes you put a cup worth of effort in, you walk away, you come back, there's a pound and a half of result, and you're like, what was that? What?
How did that? What'd I do?
So what we're here
Right.
to say is,
Yeah.
if you notice that happen,
Do more of that.
do more of that.
Do more of that.
That's the place to put the grind in.
Right, so great-
that's the place to put the work in, the effort, the legwork.
Yes.
Toward the thing that is giving you results.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Because, yes, it is about the journey.
Right.
The journey is what we want,
Right. Yeah.
and results do matter.
Right. The journey is a lot more satisfying and a lot more joyful if when you're working through this journey and you're grinding and you're putting the legwork in and you're efforting, you're getting results.
Yes.
Right? Otherwise, it's just miserable.
It's just miserable.
And there's enough about what you're doing on your daily that's going to be miserable.
Yeah, and part of that is you figuring out which part of your career is the part that where you belong.
Right.
What Deepak would call your dharma.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Being in your dharma is that thing, the place,
right?
That zone that is you,
right?
That is perfect.
Okay. So a couple of less existential examples then.
Yes.
Right?
Concrete stuff.
It's concrete stuff. So if you're thinking in terms of, let's start with real life stuff first.
Okay.
Let's not even talk about the industry.
Okay.
Right? Let's say, because this is all stuff, we've talked about this before, that what's true in your life is true in your career.
And what is true for your career
is
true for your life.
True for your life, right?
Same,
so let's
same.
make some, same.
As Mr. Miyagi would say.
So let's give some real life examples, right?
Okay.
And the first one that pops in my head is exercise.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I used to be a big runner, right? And that was how I got my cardio in, and that was how I kept my weight in check, and how I allowed myself to have, crap once in a while.
Right. And
So that
you got some endorphins
and
from
I got
it.
endorphins.
It felt good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then my body, at one point in my aging process,
said,
yeah, you're done with
done,
that.
pal.
And I fought it for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Tried to keep, I'll take a week off, and I'll go back to it. I'll do it a little differently, and I won't do, And the last time I ran, I twisted my knee, mile and a half away from home, without my phone, and it started raining.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. All right, I get it.
Now, here's the thing. You could look at that and go, you just got to work hard, man. Put on a knee brace. Get yourself out there.
I had a knee brace on.
Can't be a wimp about it, man. And that is what lots of the Instagram world will tell you.
Yes.
Okay, and not that, look, I love Instagram.
I love the
That's
socials.
great. But we're not here to, take a selfie in front of a Ferrari, right? We are here to be with you.
Right. I'm not borrowing $50,000 from my folks to throw on the bed. So
throw on the bed and go, thug life. You know what I mean? Thanks, Mom. Throw $50,000 to throw on Mom and Dad's bed.
Right, exactly.
In their mansion.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
Living the life.
Right.
No, we're talking about real stuff. So
Yeah, exactly.
in that situation, instead of going, you just got to work through it, Michael, that's the time to ask yourself, is there something else you could do for cardio?
Right. So does that mean that I should stop doing cardio altogether?
Well, I guess
Just
that's
go,
it. You're just going to
I
get
guess
fat.
that's it. I'm just going to be
You're done.
I can feel it. I'm Jabba the Hutt now.
That's it. We'll just use subtitles. We won't understand what you're saying.
Exactly.
No, right. The trick there is go,
Now what?
now what? Okay, so what else can I do?
Right.
My version of that is,
Yeah.
I've been lifting for a long time. I started lifting when I was a teenager. Just enjoy it. Had a fun thing.
Yep.
And then I started getting injured when I was working out with free weights at the gym all the time. Shoulders, legs, and every
Wrists.
time I was every time I was working
Elbow.
out regularly in the gym, I would get injured and then not be able to work out for a while.
Right.
Well, what does that mean? Well, I guess I just can't work
that's
out.
it.
I guess I'm just
working out for
guess
you.
I'm just out of shape. No, it means, hey, what else can you do? Well, I noticed that body weight resistance stuff I was always good with.
Right.
And over the last decade and a half or whatever,
Right. That's what you've been doing.
That's mainly been my workout
Right.
bit.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean I don't work out.
Right.
It matters to me
Right.
that I'm physically fit and I feel better and I don't get sick as much. So, and I'm a
Exactly.
musician. I think it matters that I take care of myself
For
physically.
sure. Well, you want to, if you're going to live for a long time, you want to feel good about your body
Right.
while you're living.
Right.
Right. The last
Exactly.
thing you want to do is be alive for a long time and be uncomfortable
Be
and in
unhealthy
pain.
with the vehicle that I'm going through life in.
Exactly.
Right? So for me, my version of that, I can't run anymore, was
Right.
going to the gym is probably not for me.
Right. So another great example when you think about exercise and you think about doing what works.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, I could go to the gym every day, 4 hours a day, double sessions, and I would not look like The Rock.
Right. Oh, that's perfect because
Right.
that's what we're talking about with the results.
Exactly.
Right? Like, and it doesn't mean that The Rock doesn't work. Like, that's the gym. Like, he used to sweep up at a gym when
Right.
he couldn't afford a gym membership when he was a teenager.
Right.
So he could go work out there.
Exactly.
But it's because that was his dharma, man. That was his
and
thing that worked.
His results were there.
And his results were there. And he, of course, put in the effort. You have to put in the effort.
Have to.
Right? I lock myself in my room for hours and hours and hours and hours as a teenager learning how to play guitar.
Right.
So that I could become the guitar player I wanted to be.
Right.
But you know what? There were lots of people that locked themselves in their room for hours and hours and hours and hours and didn't get the results that I got.
And will never get the results
right?
that you got.
Just because that was not their thing. And I didn't get the same results that Yngwie Malmsteen got.
Right.
Or
Exactly.
Eric Johnson or
Right.
Steve Vai or...
Hey, man, the same thing is true in politics.
Right.
The debate was just on last night. I mean, you think about it. You know, these people have all been doing the same thing for their entire life. And, you know, they're going to have different results.
Yes. Some of them will raise more money than others.
Some of them will raise more money than others.
And there is a
if you
certain...
think about local politics, you know, you could do really well and you know, and just not get the result that you want. So, but there are some people who are just better at it.
And so looking at the result that you're getting in relation to the effort that's being put in is important. And it's a part, and it's so interesting because the more we talk about this, the more I go, it is complicated. There's a lot
to it.
There's a lot to it because there's so many different pieces to it.
There are.
Right?
There is a lot to it, but it's also, so it is a complex issue, but it is also a very simple thing to see.
Yes.
You work hard, you don't get results.
Okay.
Don't do that anymore. You work hard, you get results, do more of that.
Right. And I'm going to piggyback on that. You work hard, don't get results, don't do that anymore. That doesn't mean you do a lot of cardio and you injure yourself. No more cardio for you. No, find the cardio
that works.
where you don't get And as you get older, it's less about the getting the results than it is preventing the other results.
Yeah. But that's a whole different thing when you're talking about career.
Another
podcast. Let's take it to music then.
Yes.
So you used this example earlier when we were talking about this, and I love this example. So one of the things that most of us want when we are either starting out or in the middle or even at the end, at the peak of our career is we want a great booking agent.
Yes.
Right?
And never has it been more important
than
right now
to have a good booking agent.
To have a great booking. I mean, that should be, if that's not on your list of things that you would like,
right,
it should be.
That should be one.
That should be one of them because having a great booking agent can make a huge difference in your career.
So, if you are having a hard time landing that booking agent,
right,
does that mean that you don't play gigs?
No. And let's give an example here. I'll give you the example that we were talking about earlier. So let's say you're spending, 5 to 10 hours a week actively seeking out a booking agent, doing research on the internet, sending emails, phone calls, talking to people, driving places to go talk with whatever. And you're just not getting any results from that. However, you seem to be booking all these house concerts effortlessly through your friends.
Right.
And, there's those 5 festivals that are within 100 miles of your house that in the summer, because the people that book those and they put those on the bill, and that's easy, and you're getting results. Okay, for the moment, stop pursuing the booking agent.
Right.
Altogether.
Yes.
And pursue more house concerts, more festivals, more gigs like that you seem to be booking on your own.
Yeah.
If you book enough of stuff on your own, you get to a certain level, you'll be more attractive to a booking agent anyway.
I was just going to say, I promise you a booking agent will be interested in you.
Right? But if you're getting results on your own in this one way, and you're not getting any results the other way,
right,
pivot the time that you're spending on the thing you're not getting results on to the thing that you are getting results on that is basically in the same field.
Right, which is sort of counterintuitive, and a lot of what people, many times in your life, you will hear people say, well, that's working on its own.
Right, yes, let that spin. That's good.
No.
Really, if that's working on its own, double your efforts.
Right.
That's the place to grind.
Right. I don't even think.
If you need to use the word grind.
Right. And this is where I don't like the word grind.
I know.
Because that's the place to effort.
Sure.
Right. That's the place to work. Because when you pay attention to that, when you effort that, when you pay attention to it, you are. It's like it's coasting already, right? And now you've just given it. Do you think about it? Think about a skateboard, and you're coasting down the road. You give it a few pumps,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Right? And now you're really coasting along.
Yeah.
Right?
And really, maybe you're going down a hill now.
Yes.
Awesome. But you know what? The hill won't last forever.
Right.
So as you notice it's starting to slow down, give it a couple more pumps.
Exactly.
If we're staying with our skateboard analogy.
Exactly.
Right?
Right? As opposed to being on that same skateboard and you're just going uphill. Right.
Or you keep falling off.
You keep falling off.
You know what? Maybe you're not very good at
Maybe
skateboarding.
not skateboarding is not your thing. Maybe you should try some roller skates.
Right. Or maybe a bike.
Or a bike.
Or a scooter.
Or,
Or a car. I don't know. Take the bus. Whatever it is that sometimes it's not everybody is going to be able to skateboard. Not everybody is going to be able to rock. Not everybody is going to be Michael Jordan.
Right.
Right?
Yes. So, but most of us will have positive results in some area so I like the house concert, right? So double down on that.
Yeah.
Right? Spend some time on that. Don't give up the desire, the want for a booking agent.
Totally.
Right? Keep that. That's important.
Because you're right. That is a great thing to have.
It totally is. But the more gigs you book in the other way, the more money you're already making, the more they're going to want in on that.
Because here's the thing. The more valuable you'll be to a booking agent.
Exactly.
A booking agent who's good doesn't have time to waste with anybody.
Right.
Because they have to keep all their plates
Well, they have to
spinning.
do the same thing.
They have to do the same thing. What's
club,
working?
This club always gets back to me. This club doesn't. I'm going to ignore that club.
These artists are crushing it and sell tickets like crazy and are really fun to work with, and their career's going well, and they're really prolific. And look,
maybe you have a publishing company. Okay. Let's say, for example, and you specialize in indie music, like indie rock music, and you're not getting very many placements for your indie rock musicians anymore, but all of the urban artists that you have are getting placements.
Well, I would say spend some more time getting some more urban artists.
Exactly. Right?
That's a great... And the thing is, yes...
That doesn't mean you give up on the indie artists,
and
right?
yes, you have to work.
Yes.
Yes, you have to effort. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the effort is hard.
Yes. Exactly.
I sweat when I work out.
Right.
A lot. Uncomfortably so.
Right.
I hurt sometimes afterwards.
Yes. Absolutely.
Often I don't want to do it.
Right.
You know what, though? I do it anyway.
Right.
But I do it in a way where I don't injure myself.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly, yes.
And then the results are good.
So, another example.
Yes.
Let's say you have been, for the last however long, you've been, posting videos or singles on Instagram, and you're not really getting the same results that you used to.
Okay.
But for some reason, the stuff that you're doing on YouTube now is like 4 or 5 times as popular as it was 18 months ago.
Right.
Does that mean that you should adjust? You should focus on adjusting what you're doing on Instagram to get better results? Or should you spend a little bit more time promoting the stuff that you're doing on YouTube?
Yes. I would say yes.
Right? So you're still working the same amount of time.
Exactly.
Right? You're still posting the same amount on socials. You're still spending as much time, or on Snapchat or on whatever platform is working for you. Right? But pay attention to the one that is working for you. Mm-hmm. Right? Hey, man, Facebook used to work for everybody 10 years ago.
Yep.
Right? And now it really is working, more for bands whose demographic is older. Right, and has so I had a young student yesterday say to me that they follow Tyler the Creator on a couple of different socials, like they follow his socials, and I was like, oh really, like like which ones? And he's like, well, Instagram and Snapchat, and I was like, so like not Facebook, right? And he goes Facebook. Facebook is for moms who don't believe in vaccination.
Wow.
And this is like 12-year-old student.
Wow. That is actually a bumper sticker. As soon as we're done recording this podcast, I'm going to create that bumper sticker, and I'm putting that up on Etsy. We'll put a link in the bio. Facebook is for moms who don't believe in vaccination.
Right.
Wow.
So
just wow.
Right?
Now, anecdotal.
One
12-year-old.
Of course, one very cool.
But he's very cool. I
know
exactly
what I'm talking about. Exactly.
That's great.
So, again, this doesn't mean that Facebook might not work. Maybe Facebook will work for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you play a kind of song that moms who don't believe in vaccination will be really into. right? Maybe that's your style, right? Oh, man. Again, generalizing.
Generalizing, yes.
But my point being, you want to remain nimble in your thought process.
Yeah.
And you're being aware
Yeah.
of what's working.
Yes.
What's bringing you results from your work.
All right, and that's a
and
great
what isn't.
That's a great point. And so why it sounds the way we're describing it, like anybody who would continue doing something that's not working for them brilliantly would be stupid.
Hey,
why is this a trouble spot?
No.
Here's why it's a trouble spot. Here's why it's been a trouble spot for me, for us, is that you have a vision of what you want.
Right.
And, And we're all pretty persnickety about sticking with our vision of what we want.
But that's what I want.
But I
over
want
there.
But I want to. I'm totally into MySpace, man. I really decked out my MySpace, and it looks awesome. Well, nobody's on MySpace anymore, Adam. So move along, kid.
Right.
Right. Sometimes things change.
Right.
You know, I want to be drawing this many people. Well, you're not.
Exactly.
Right now, for whatever reason, you're not. And lying to yourself about the fact that you haven't been drawing at this club or whatever for 18 months is not helpful for your career.
I really want to play at this club.
Well, you maybe not gonna, because the booking agent hates you.
How many times have you called there? I don't know, 12?
Did the booking agent ever tell you to stop calling? Yes.
A couple times.
Okay, so stop calling, play a different club.
Right.
Right? If we get fixated on, obsessively fixated on,
this is the only way.
This is the only way. Not talking about a goal.
Nope.
And sometimes being obsessively fixated on an image or a goal
it's a great thing.
It's a great thing.
But letting go of the idea of this is the only way to get to that thing.
Right.
Is the important part.
Right.
Remembering that there's dozens of ways.
Yes.
To get to the goal that you want. Maybe hundreds of ways.
We're about an hour north of Boston.
Yes.
Boston, Mass. And one of the examples I've heard people use in this region is, look, there's 15 different ways you can get to Boston.
Yeah.
If you're going to Boston, go to Boston.
Right.
You can go 95, you can go Route 1, you can cut down through Seabrook and cut over, you can take back roads, you can do, right?
Right.
There's so many different ways you can get there.
Do 495 to 95,
right.
93.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, there's a bunch of different ways.
There's a bunch of different ways, and they all get you to Boston.
Right.
One is not better than the other, and depending on the time of day.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Some of them are way better than others.
Right. Depending on the time of day, depending on the construction.
Some of the ones that are actually geographically longer
are much quicker.
Will get you there much quicker depending on the time of day.
With less stop
and
time,
less stress.
Less stress.
It'll be a nicer view.
Right. It'll be a prettier view. You'll enjoy it a lot more on the way.
So being obsessed about I'm going to Boston, good.
Right.
Being obsessed with I am taking 95 to Boston, period. That you may be causing yourself trouble. That may be something that's a challenge for you that was not going to be good for your career.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
So effort, work are necessary in everything we do.
Right. But if it's not bearing fruit.
Yeah.
Right? If it's not bringing you something back.
Yeah. If you're not seeing some success and some payoff from what you're doing, right?
Yeah, it's time to reevaluate.
I've seen brilliant students who just suck at guitar. But then they start playing piano.
Right.
And they crush it.
Exactly.
Well, what does that mean? We should have worked harder at guitar. No, it means probably piano is their axe, man.
Right.
Right? And then maybe they play guitar as well.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
When I need to figure out a tune, I play like 7 different instruments.
Right.
When I need to pick a tune, when I need to play a tune and something's playing and I want to figure it out before it ends, I always reach for my guitar.
Yes.
That's my main axe. That's the one that made sense to me always.
Right.
That just came to me easier. But it doesn't mean I didn't put all kinds of effort into it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
DAWs. Think about different, recording.
Yeah.
They all work.
Right.
I got 4 of them on my studio computer right now.
Right. I thought you were talking about the band. I was like,
no.
I don't. Did something happen?
No, I love Dawes.
Okay.
Dawes, great band. Check them out. But no, your digital audio workstation,
Yes,
whichever.
exactly. Right. I thought I was like, where are you going with this, Dawes?
I am always going to initially go to
Pro
Tools
Tools.
if I'm mixing something.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Although I love Logic for creating something quickly, and I think Reason is cool, and you know what I mean? Audacity is a fun, free one just to have, just because it's weird. But depending on what you need, different ones are going to work better for you.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It doesn't matter because the goal is to record something.
Exactly.
So record something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? In whatever is working best for you.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Some people, Logic makes more sense to them.
Totally.
Great.
Totally. Well, it's as simple as, let's say you're a singer and, you really want to, sing that, that song by Train.
Okay.
Right? And you're like, yeah, so that song's in F. Right? But when I sing that song in F, I can hit the notes. Doesn't sound great.
How about T?
Right. What if I drop it to E?
Right.
Doesn't sound that much different to everybody else.
Right.
But for me,
it makes all the
it
difference.
makes all the difference in the world. Or the other way around. Let's say you're a female singer and you want to cover a John Mayer song, right? And the song's in G.
Right. Well,
and you're like, well, I'm going to bump this up to B, maybe.
Right. Or
right?
C.
Or
D.
C.
Let's
right.
go. Let's do it.
Let's really do it. And maybe it's more in my wheelhouse.
Yes.
Right. And I'm still going to have to practice it.
Right.
I'm still gonna have to make sure I know all the lyrics.
I'm still gonna have to memorize the lyrics.
I'm still gonna have to know how to sing it in the pocket. I'm still gonna need to know how to deliver the line.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do it in a key that works for me. That the results are there. That the song bears fruit.
Yeah.
That there's something at the end of that. That is a positive result.
And what you're talking about there is pivoting.
Yeah.
A perpetual understanding that you will need to pivot.
Yes.
In everything you're doing.
Everything.
You're going to need to pivot in your career.
Yes.
You're going to need to pivot in your personal relationships.
Exactly.
You're going to need to pivot with all the stuff you're doing. What is giving you the results? That's what we need to know.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. This is a lifelong, career-long process.
Yeah.
Right? Most people are not going to, most artists and musicians are not going to be the Rolling Stones.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And even if you think about, think about the changes that happened with Aerosmith.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? If you think about the depth of their career and how it changed.
Yeah.
Through the years, and that's how they stayed. They got another decade and a half of really radio relevance.
Oh, absolutely.
By changing what they were doing.
Well, let's go more modern than that. Look at Taylor Swift.
Totally. Great example.
Look at Katy Perry.
Yes.
Right?
Casey Musgraves.
Casey Musgraves.
Right.
I mean, obviously John Mayer. Look at anybody who's a current. Look at Beyonce.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
The differences in what you're doing as an artist are going to evolve. Now, when you're at a level of success where you have a fan base like that, your challenges might seem different.
They are different,
right? Because they're now about.
You don't want to alienate any of your fan base,
and you want to be true to yourself artistically.
Exactly.
You want to do things that you feel good about, that you're excited by. But as we're more talking about in the what people, I'm doing air quotes, grinding period of your career, right? Where you're ascending.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that I don't know that ever changes.
Right.
I think that you are that in order to stay successful and to stay on that path, that you're always going to be wanting to review at some level what's working.
Right.
What's working.
Absolutely.
And if what's working is as simple as what brings me a level of satisfaction,
right,
and joy. It doesn't. Maybe you get to Taylor Swift's level, and she didn't need to make any more money.
Right.
Right. But what was important to her was, I want to be making that kind of music.
Right.
That's the challenge now. Is okay. I did the country thing. I want to be doing pop. I want to see what that does.
Yeah.
Right. I'm glad you brought that example up. That's a great. Right. And then there's Ed Sheeran, who right he's still doing the acoustic guitar thing, looping. right?
I know.
And may forever. But what he does for the other part of himself as an artist, is he writes songs for boy bands.
He writes all the songs he ever thinks of.
Right.
Because
and then
he
finds someone
figures-
else to do it.
Someone else will need to do this. This is great.
Right. And so that's how he's keeping moving forward
Yeah.
in a way that brings him a positive result.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And so,
So-
that's what we want for you.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward. Look at what's working. Turn up the volume on the stuff
Turn up
that's
the
working.
volume on the stuff that's working. And maybe turn down the volume on the stuff that's not.
Exactly. And don't feel bad about either.
No.
Just keep moving, looking for joy.
Exactly. And remember, you got this.
We got your back.